Afternoon, everyone. Had an early day at work today, so decided to come into the shop here and do some work. I have an Echo CS 8000. I believe that's the model. I'm not an Echo guy. There we go. Echo CS 8000. Buddy of mine pretty much just gave me this saw on the weekend. Said do something with it. This is an 80cc Echo. You can see the front of the case has been broken off. Somebody's dropped this. There's no front mounts. There's a piece of a mount in there. There's no front mounts on this saw. The handle's falling off, and then it's been repaired. I'm going to take this saw apart and see if I can have the cases fixed by a buddy, and then go from there. If we can get the cases welded, my plan is to build this saw and port it, and this saw is going to be built for a buddy of mine. More on that later. So anyways, this is what I'm up to today. Funny story, I've never worked on an Echo. I think I've run one once. Not a ton of Echoes around here. It's got a Walbro carb. See if you can get a better look at the piston. Piston's like brand new. So I think somebody broke the case and just kind of parked this thing after a failed repair. Working on this Echo. Sorry for the noise in the background. I got my fan blowing on my wood stove. Still working on this Echo. Gonna get ready to split the cases. I think I see another crack right there. So who knows, this thing might be foobarred. But we'll keep going and see what we find. Okay, well, here's the front of the case. You can see somebody's done just an ugly weld to it. It's stuck to the case, but not to the part that's broken off. And it's all boogered on the back here. So, looks like somebody actually made a new piece out of aluminum, I'm guessing, which would probably be a reason. Now I might have more issues. This might not actually be an original piece of case. And if it's not, I'm not a welder, so I'm not sure if you can weld dissimilar metals back together in this case. This could be another question. Oh well, I'm gonna split this thing and see what we got. Somebody's been in this saw before. There was no base gasket. Some kind of silicone in there, not like an assembly silicone like we would normally use. Doesn't seem to have hurt the saw. There's a few scuffs on the piston. Looks like it's eaten some dust here and there, but all in all, it's not too bad. Okay, let's pull these case bolts out. There we go. Again, this is just something to play with. Buddy of mine is looking for one of these saws, and I happen to know that this one was sitting collecting dust, so if I can build this for him, I would love to do that. He's helped me out quite a bit, so gotta take care of those that take care of you in this life, is what I say. Anyhow, enough about that. Okay, well, let's see. I think this thing's gonna need bearings. We're gonna find out here pretty quick. Well, we'll give this thing a little tug and see what it does. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. So if any of you have never split a chainsaw, it's hard to see. This thing actually, it goes in here on either side of the crank. Let's see if we can, on either side of the crank lobe here. It goes like this, and it pushes, here, and it pushes on the bearing, not on the case. So what ends up happening, you hold the bearing on the crankshaft, or you hold the bearing in the case, and you push the crankshaft off the bearing. I just realized that I forgot to take the timing key off. That seems to be my move. I do that all the time. Of course it's stuck. There we go. I mean, there are other ways to split a case, but there are other ways to split a case, but this is the easiest way. Here, I'll give you a better look at this tool. I'm sure most of you have seen this. Okay, so your bearing is here. See, it pushes here and here on the bearing like that, and then you push the crankshaft through here. Oh, does this thing stink like bad gas? This saw's been sitting for a long time. Okay, so now we'll do the other side. This time I can show you. Oh, well then, that's not a good sign. That thing literally just fell off the crank. This thing may have, this thing may have spun a bearing. Interesting. Oh yeah, this bearing feels awful. It's click, 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 click when you turn it. Oh yeah, there we go. Broken race. Right here, see how it's missing the race? So, again, that's why if you are buying saws that are blown up, not running, you don't want to pay too much, because a lot of times this is what you find. This saw was given to me by a buddy, so it's no big deal, but if you paid $100 for this saw, say, thinking, oh, I'll just put a piston in it, and you end up with this kind of problem. You know, I did have this saw running. I should put that video at the beginning of this. I did have this saw running. So now the question is, where did that piece go? There's a few little scuff marks on the side of the piston, nothing major. There's the exhaust side, looks good. A few scuff marks on the intake side. I would more tend to think that that's from particulate. So I'm just wondering, where did those pieces go? And another quick and dirty trick, so to see if this crank's good. So right, that should be a press fit. There should be no way that you can pull that apart. So let's see if it's the same on the other crankshaft side, and it's not. It's tight. So that's going to lead me to believe that this saw is a no-go. Oh, weird. So I guess I'll have to get out my micrometer and start measuring. I'm not sure though. The side that's spun won't go into this bearing. This side, okay, never mind. Okay. So this side won't go in, and this side won't go in. So this bearing has been spun. Thank God it didn't take out the case. Again, it's tight in the case. So it didn't take out the case, and it didn't take out the crankshaft. Let's pull out the micrometer just for fun. If anybody's interested, let's see what we got. See if we can get that to where you can see it. So 664 thousandths, we'll say 663 thousandths. $663,000 on this side too. So that means this crank's still good. I will have to do bearings in this saw, which is no big deal. Crank seals. In fact, I might as well. These crank seals look okay, but can't take the bearing out without taking the seals out. This is the tool that I use. Never used it on an Echo, so there we go. This looks like just a standard bearing. This side is proprietary. You can see it's this whole metal piece here, which probably means there's no shoulder for this bearing here. Might have to whip up a different tool. Just give me a second here. I'm going to put some heat on this and see if we can loosen her up a little. Okay, we heated up the case. Just going to see if I can pop this seal out. No, the seal's going to give me lots of fun. Okay, well. There we go. Okay, let me grab a socket here. That's probably my 6203 socket. Yes, it is. Okay. There you go. Don't mind my knuckle. I don't know if you can hear that. So that bearing is completely toast. This one's on its way out too. NTN 6203s is what kind of bearings these have. Big seal on the one side. And I bet you I have a seal like this. Looks like the same size seal, if you go back in my videos, the Oleomac Olympic 999. Anyhow, I'll do a little case inspection and we'll get back to you. So here's what we got. 6203 bearings. That one let go. Not sure if this thing's gonna be economical to repair. There's a crack right there by the back bar stud hole. Somebody reefed on the bar stud hard enough to crack the case. Let's see if I can get this thing to focus. Here, hold on here. Right here, there's another crack. And then this, I'm gonna have to check with some vinegar, but I have a feeling that this is actually aluminum. Notice the porosity in the weld. So somebody went to all the time to make this piece. It's not terrible, but it just broke right off because I have a feeling they use magnesium filler rod and this piece is aluminum. So I don't think they make a rod to bond. Well, I'm not sure, but I don't think there's a common rod you can buy to bond magnesium to aluminum. So that's what we got. Crankshaft seems okay. But at this point, this build is going to be, I don't know. And we'll leave it at that. Maybe eBay. There's a set of cases on eBay that maybe I could scoop up. I don't know. I'll have to decide what I'm doing. So for the guy that wants this saw to be continued, we may have to put this in a project for later pile, or maybe we fix it. I mean, 6203 bearings are easily available. If I can get this case built up, I could probably, maybe make a jig. I do have a milling attachment for my lathe. I could mill this back around and put the mount back in there. It's all doable. It's time more than money at this point, but we'll see what we can do with this thing. Anyways, thanks for watching. Take her easy.